Oh, sorry, I'm just trying to find the banning tool. Here we go. So it's Meme Team versus Phalanx. Meme Team are currently in fifth place. They were tied on points, but they had slightly more. I think they had slightly more points than the PL team because they killed a few more ships. They definitely need to win this, or they're gonna get eliminated. Oracle ban first, which is pretty standard. I think we're gonna see one of the armor. Uh, Logistics banned by Phalanx, so they can pick armor themselves and bully Meme Team into running shield if they want. They could also ban some shield battleships or some shield battlecruisers, Raven, Tempest, pretty popular bans. So they're banning Extra first. I expect they're probably going to ban Raven or Tempest next. Meme Team, not sure what they're going to ban. They banned Oracle first. I think we might see maybe Harbinger banned, Abaddon banned, any of the strong options. APOC banned, that's also a good option too.
I mean, out of the armor logi, the Executor I think is the stronger one. It's fit little more, I would say, reasonably than the Augur, because the Augur has small reps, which a lot of people aren't too much of a fan of. But I mean, like, I don't know if Phalanx will actually ban a battleship or battlecruiser, or if they're just gonna try and wipe armor off the field, because it looks like Meme Team's trying to ban out armor. Oh well, now they banned Osprey, so they could go still either shield or armor.
Yeah, I expect Phalanx are probably going to pick up the Augur themselves, although they do get the first pick, so they could try and juke Meme Team a bit, maybe let them pick a shield frigate or something that's not going to be that useful when they pick the shield cruisers themselves, but I don't think they're going to be at any big loss. I think Meme Team probably would go for the Vigil. It's kind of a neutral frigate. Even if they end up having to go armor, it's still pretty strong with the bonus target painter, with the web. And that's what they're going for, the Vigil. I think that's probably the safest pick for them because they're not quite sure if Flanks are going armor or shield, although I expect they probably will be going armor.
Yeah, I mean, I think armor's been a lot more popular than shield. Although actually they picked a Merlin, so they have the Scythe logi that they can pick. Merlin Tower. So you have Merlin, which would be the tanky frigate, tackle frigate, Tower, which is just long range DPS. Although the cruiser, then they would be have the Scythe, and the Scythe is pretty kitey compared to say the Osprey. So they might be doing a kite shield setup for Phalanx if they actually do logi.
Yeah, so now Meme Team are going to have to go armor unless they want to go no logi. I mean, they could still go no logi with the Caracal pick or a Vexa pick or a Blackbird pick in the cruiser option. They're picking up the Algus. You can't see the picture of the Algus there because it's bugged, but the Algus is pretty strong as we mentioned before with Elise, because it can run rep bots as well as DPS bots, and it has tackle, so it's just got a lot of utility. Scythe picked up by Phalanx, which we expected. Probably gonna see Augur pick up here from Meme Team, although they could also go Caracal, Blackbird, Vexer, as we mentioned. Those are probably the best no logi options.
Yeah, so the Augur is, I want to say, suboptimal for what people would expect for a Logi, but I think, as Bay mentioned earlier, it actually has a 100% win rate, so it's not picked very often, it's mostly banned, but when it is picked, it actually wins, which is really surprising to show how just because something may look good or may look bad on paper doesn't mean it actually translates to, like, actual performance. So we see the Abaddon pick by Phalanx, because obviously Meme Team is going armor, and the Abaddon has been doing, at least picked kind of often for armor setups. People generally don't like it because it doesn't have very good tracking. I remember there was a match where a Scythe actually was able to get under its guns and it just kind of sat there and wasn't able to kill anything.
Yeah, the Abaddon's pretty good at doing long range damage. Raven banned from Meme Team as expected. Either the Raven or the Tempest was probably likely going to be their battleship choice. For battle cruiser, we've still got the Naga on the field that they can pick, Naga or Hurricane. I imagine they're probably going to go Hurricane for the battle cruiser pick, which is pretty standard. It's pretty good for kiting. Could maybe see a Drake too. I mean, they did pick up the Merlin, which is the tanky. Oh, we are seeing the Drake.
Yes!
The Ham Drake. So they're gonna go a bit more brawly. They do have the Scythe. Normally the Osprey is a bit better if you're going brawly because of the extra tank that it has and the AB.
I
Uh,
think the I was gonna say I think the Drake has had 100% win rate except maybe one match. I think last week there was one match where it did not perform as well. But
it
so
lost
far
to
the
the
Drake has
APOC kiting.
yeah,
Oh, sorry, Armageddon kiting team.
yeah, but the Drake has been doing so well in this, and it's usually paired with the Rogue for a battleship. So I'm hoping that maybe Phalanx will pick it. We got Harbinger and Hyperion. So yeah, the Hyperion, which is blasters, got to get up close to actually apply DPS as we saw in the last match.
Yeah, going for the rogue. So yeah, we have a brawly shield team versus a armor team. Harbinger and Hyperion are still pretty good. It looks like Phalanx actually did a pretty good job of maybe like duking Test Alliance into thinking they're going to go armor first on the blue side, but then it's swapping out to shield because not Test Meme team banned they used their two first bans on strong armor battle cruisers and battleships.
Yeah, so I mean, it kind of looks like Meme Team could have potentially hurt themselves because I know the Oracle and the Apocalypse have done really, really well. We'll send it back to Elise.
All right, thanks, guys. That was pretty crazy the way the draft went down. We get to see a Drake and a Rogue. This is one of the more popular, or maybe not more popular, one of the coolest setups we saw in an all Kaldari team from the majors 2 weeks ago. And it was dominant, utterly dominant. And let's see if Phalanx can, emulate that performance just a little bit. They've got almost an all Kaldari team. They're just missing the Korax. But the Telwar does look cooler, so I can't really blame them for that. And the Osprey was banned, so whatever. Meme team banning out the Oracle and APOC. That was a deadly combination that we talked about earlier today that the major league teams have been using quite well. Generally, when you get when you get both of those ships, it's just lights out. But a lot of times, if you get the APOC, you can swap the Oracle for a Harbinger, something like that. So it's a play by a meme team to kind of knock those out early on. They at least know what they don't want to see, right? But as Sutoni and Rain were saying, it does look like Phalanx probably got the drafting edge a little bit. So we'll see how that sort of plays out on the actual field. Again, these teams have not really practiced any of these setups, although these teams have been practicing in their spare time. It's really hard to come out with a pocket setup or a pocket strategy when another team can just ban out what you're going for straight up. So a lot of it is predicated on piloting skill and just ability for this 5-man core to sort of get comfortable with one another. And we have actually seen, in fact, that a lot of these pilots are fitting into the same roles. Should be kind of interesting to see who's going to fly the Logi for Meme Team. I believe it's always been the similar pilot. We'll see. It's Kaboom. He's been always flying the Logi, always flying it really well. Sorry, that's for Phalanx. So let's see if we'll see him in the site. He will be the team captain. But yeah, he's always been fun to watch out for. And let's see. Let's just talk about a little bit more about these teams. Who do you think is going to be stronger and coming straight out of it? Bay, what do you sort of expect to see here?
So Phalanx have actually done a bit of a masterstroke here. I've been waiting for a team to try and do this. I really hope it works out for them. I'm definitely going to be rooting for them in this match. I love Test as well, though, so it's a bit of a tricky one. But Phalanx have actually done what I don't think a team has done yet, which is wait for the red side to bang two really strong armor ships. Oracle and APOC clearly very, very strong, very good against shield ships. So they've waited for the red team to ban out those ships. And then they've let armor through and picked shield. So they've basically gained two bans that are good against their setup by letting red team pick them and then picking a setup that works really, really well against them. So I think this is going to be really interesting. I definitely think that by letting Hyperion through, though, and Agora, it's going to be a really, really uphill race for them. But I think Phalanx letting armor through here and picking shield, this is the first, I think, so far in the tournament. And I kind of got my fingers crossed for them because I want them to prove me right that this could work.
Yeah, when we created, and this was actually Bay's brainchild, in fact, a banning tool. When he came up with it, this is one of the scenarios that he was hoping to see come to fruition, just to see what kind of mind games these pilots will come up with. And as the weeks have been progressing, we've been seeing captains being a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more, provoking with their bans and their picks. We've actually seen a lot of the teams in the major leagues just completely trying to outdraft one another and outpick one another. Not even pick what's good, just trying to counterplay every single setup. And it's been kind of fun. Sometimes it works and sometimes it horribly backfires. The teams will just pick what they want. They don't care about anything else. And that ends up working out like the old mnemonic, keep it simple. But yeah, I am quite excited. I'm just excited to see a Drake and a Rogue. I'm interested in the meme team. It looks like they were kind of scattered a little bit in what they wanted. They picked the Vigil first, which is a very strong ship if you're going with pairing it with a Raven or something like an Abaddon, as Phalanx very shrewdly banned out. Because those ships have hard time tracking and hard time applying their damage. The Vigil is so good at helping your battleship apply damage. It doesn't really do anything else. It can't really tackle too effectively, even though it does have a web. It'll be interesting to see if they got what they want. Pairing it with a Hyperion, probably not what they had initially thought. But we'll give these teams just a couple more minutes to get ready here. They're not quite ready in local, but they'll give them about 5 or 6 minutes or so. In the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and just say, because Plantronics were gracious enough to give us quite a few of these headsets to give away, we're gonna go ahead and just ask in chat here, in Twitch chat. Feel free to answer. You don't have to be following, though we'd appreciate if you did. Just what's your favorite ship? Only that you've seen in this tournament, just in general. It could be Drake, because everyone loves Drakes, or it could be something like a Gold Magnate or something, if you've only seen a few times. Or maybe never, who knows. So go ahead and type your favorite ship in chat here, and after this match, we'll go ahead and draw for the Plantronics headset. Should be pretty fun. I mean, it's a pretty nice headset. Nash gave me a bunch of pictures of all the headsets he has. They're just sitting, in his office, I guess. So not only do you get a headset, but you get a headset that Nash Cadaver has touched. So I mean, that's double points right there. Maybe even triple points. But as we're waiting for these teams to get ready, Rain, what did you really notice from the draft that you think the people should be kind of like looking out for?
Oh boy. So I think the frigate pick is really interesting. I know a lot of people are kind of opposed to the tackle frigate, so like that's kind of what the Merlin fills that role for, as a tackle frigate, versus the Vigil, which is an E-War frigate. So it's able to use a target painter to kind of assist in its team rather than, say, tackling something and holding it in place, even though it does have webs. So I think something to watch there. I think that would be good to watch, to pay attention to, kind of that meta, because I don't think there's really any. I know we have a lot of tackle frig picks, but we don't have a lot of E-War frig picks, and if it has been, it's always been the Vigil. So that's one thing to note. And then same with drones. I know there's been talk in Twitch chat of people watching or saying that teams can only really pick their drones, and Meme Team actually picked an Algos. And so it's always good to see kind of a team's like intent or what they want their ships to do with their drone pick. Like if they pick Logi drones, then obviously they're going to want to try and keep their own logistics alive. So those logistic cruisers, if they pick E-War drones, maybe they're trying to fill a gap like, say, Phalanx would have because they don't have a E-War ship on grid with them. So just kind of paying attention to those little things.
And you bring up E-War. This is pretty interesting. We do allow Blackbirds in the setup, but the jammers are actually predefined, so you can't just fit whatever you want on them. Do you think it's bizarre that nobody has been picking up the Blackbird? I mean, we saw it maybe 1 or 2 times, actually. I'm sure there's a major cool stat that we can pull up that shows how many times the Blackbird's been picked. But do you think it's strange that no one's really picking E-War? I mean, we saw in the Alliance tournaments, it seemed right up until the final weekend, everyone was just picking Blackbirds and other E-War. Is it just passe in this format, or is it just do people think it's just not worth?
I think the Blackbird is kind of weak in this format. The reason for that is because the Blackbird has one of each racial jammer. So what happens is if you pick the Blackbird, then I pick my cruiser. It doesn't matter what race it is. It's like Galanti, right? So I pick an extra. Then with my battlecruiser and battleship pick, I can just pick Galanti battlecruiser and Galanti battleship. And then if you use the Galanti ECM on my Excra, then my battleship and my battlecruiser are just not gonna get jammed, or at least they're not gonna be jammed very often. So they'll just be able to like dominate. Well, I think that's the main weakness of the Blackbird anyway. I think the Scorpion and Griffin, they have multi-spectrals instead, but we still haven't really seen them. I don't think multi-specs are really that strong enough in this tournament to justify using.
Yeah, and we don't really have any links either on any of these things. It should be pointed out that although we started this this tournament before the Ascension patch came out, so we are running everything on the patch right before Ascension. So none of those link changes made it through. Not that it would. The only thing that would matter would be the skill set because everyone's got a maxed out character sheet here. But we're running on the same build that was right before Ascension in terms of links and whatnot. So we've got. It looks like the teams are in system now, so we've got probably 2 minutes before the match starts. Does Matt, have you noticed anything in the setups that you think we should be looking out for? Any pilots that we should be kind of keeping an eye out for, or any crazy tactics that we're hoping for? We do see that the meme team does have the Hyperion, which does have an MJD that we saw used in the last match, in our first match. Do you think we're going to see an MJD?
I definitely think the MJD tactic, because it was just so effective, would not shock me if they used it again. It's just a strong way to surprise some people. I mean, I think all the pilots here are really strong. So, I'm not even worried about like one guy shocking us. I think any of them could shock us. You've got Seldarius, who's well known, and a few other guys who are really, really good, and just do something. They're gonna go around the back end, and they're just gonna destroy people with surprise attacks, which are fun to watch. I think as matchups go, you've got a Drake. That's a really important ship. It's very powerful because it is a Drake. It's just got an emotional sense that makes it better than most other ships. The Hyperion obviously is notorious. And at the end of the day, these are Logi setups. These are kind of more standard Alliance tournament type things and tons of DPS. So I expect brawling, I expect explosions, and I expect this one to go a lot faster than our last match. I don't think this is going to make it.
Yeah, the Hyperion is a very tanky ship, and the meme team do have that, Augur, and then Algos potentially with Rep drones coming out. But I agree with you here. I don't think in the face of a Roke and a Drake you're going to be lasting too long here. They stop the Roke and a Drake. It's a ham Drake. It applies a lot of deeps, especially to this battleship hull and to this this battlecruiser hull as well. So meme team have all of the damage focused in onto the battleship and battlecruiser. They don't have very much utility, if any, at all in their battleship or in their frigate and destroyer. So, Phalanx will be applying all of their damage. And we are almost ready here. We actually are ready, so I'm going to go ahead and head it to our crack team in the booth of Madden and Sutonia. Go ahead and take it away, boys.
All right, Madden Kenready here with Bay RJ, some fantastic Eve NT PvP. I'll introduce the Phalanx team here in the red. They've brought a fantastic looking Rogue Drake combo with some Scythe, Talwar, Merlin support. Bay, you want to introduce memes?
Yeah, so meme team have got the Hyperion, the Augur, the Talwar, the Vigil, and the Harbinger.
And we've got some interesting range choices. You've got the Hyperion at 0, and then just mismatch of where the rest of the ships are here for the Phalanx guys, and then mostly in the background for memes. Should be interesting to see how this all kind of plays out with the ranges of the guns. This is the match is about to start.
Yeah, we're just about to get underway here. I'm super excited to see who win here. Phalanx, Okabumo, there, the team captain in the scythe again. He did amazing scythe plays last minor league show with Chesser calling him out for doing some fantastic. He actually flew under a battleship's guns and orbited a battleship while repping his teammate that was 30 kilometers away. There's some pretty fantastic plays. Hopefully you see more of those. Straight away here, BAP 181 in the Hyperion, actually burning straight towards the enemy Roke. He's trying to get on top. Roke actually backing off though, surprisingly. I figured he would just go in for a face brawl there. The Drake also backing off. Drake and the Harbinger are primary for each team. It looks like, no, there's some split damage coming from the Phalanx side.
Yeah, and one of the things that I'm noticing is all these drones are all rep drones. The armor side, not surprising, meme team, they brought some heavy drones, they brought some light drones. It's a gigantic ball of Logi drones. It's going to be a nightmare to actually kill something until some of these drones take off field. In fact, if I was that Talwar and that Merlin, I'd be saying, you know what? I'm gonna take out these drones. I'm gonna say this match is gonna go a while. Let me do something about it. Although if that rogue enough damage or it gets out of shields, it's gonna disappear. So that's a big hit right there. That's a lot of shields that it's lost already as it hits peak recharge.
Yeah, interesting. Both battleships here taking damage. The Rogue hasn't got an XL and I don't think he started boosting it. He's still just relying on the reps from that side. So he has got a lot of tank in his pocket there. The Hyperion and half armor, both battleships here taking a ton of damage. Interesting here, we've seen the battleships primary. That's not usually the case. Usually teams go for support first. But I guess they both feel confident and they can just push through the reps of the other team. The Agora has only got
the Hyperion
reps.
has taken a lot of damage. I don't think he's used any of his large answer yet, so he's got the ability to rep this back. At least I hope so. But he's in structure. This Hyperion may go down.
He may go down.
That's shocking.
There was no Logi bots on top of him. All the Logi bots were on top of the Harbinger because they realized that he could
they never moved him? I saw them move? Oh, man, that's devastating. I don't think he's going to come back.
No, now they're onto the Hyperion, but he's in deep armor, and the Agora only has medium reps, so
he's too far away. The Augur's too far away.
He's clinging on. The Agora is too far away. Yeah, you're right. Actually, he's in fall off.
Guys,
He's medium reppers.
Range matters, people. Range matters.
He's clawing back a little bit of armor now with those Logibots landing on him. He's at 14% armor. He's going up.
He's gonna
slowly.
come back. The Augur managed to actually realize, wait a second, my reps aren't hitting. Oh wait, I'll move in range now. That's a good move from him.
Sorry, they're not medium reps. They're actually they're a size normal than the smaller than normal. So they're actually small reppers on the Agora, so they're just not having quite the same impact. So the Hyperion there, he looks like he's stabilizing though. He's up to 50%
Oh yeah, well
armor.
now that the Augur is repping him and he's got rep drones, I was confused because the Rogue and the Hyperion, the Hyperion has more tank probably than the Rogue does. The Rogue probably not even using his boosters at all, although now he's probably going to need to. He's dropped below peak recharge, and peak recharge is important because essentially that's the maximum amount of shields they're going to be able to rep. I think this Rogue may now be a lot of trouble because they tried to kill the Hyperion and then they failed, and that's a lot of time off the field. That's a lot of damage application. Now the Hyperion's in a better position.
The Hyperion's looking really, really well now. He's going to have time to reload his Mansory Repper probably, which will buy him a lot more life.
They realized that was a terrible decision.
They found the weak spot, which is the Harbinger. But the Harbinger is...
It's not going to matter if this Rogue dies. He's out of shields. That's very, very bad for a shield chip.
Very, very bad. He's taking armor damage. He's going to be out of booster soon, which means he's going to probably drop. He has got a ton of rep bots on him. This is going to be helping.
I think the Scythe is out of peak rep range as well.
No,
I don't know what his max
disagree.
is, but that's close.
I disagree. I think he's pretty much bang on there. His optimal looks like to me he's like 30, 35 kilometers, which is exactly where he needs to be. I think maybe a little bit closer could be better, but he's pretty much exactly where he needs to be. I think it's like a battle of Logibots here. I think I can see the Tower sniping Logibots now, which is a pretty sensible move, I think.
And I will say, I've noticed that some of these bots have died, some of these Logibots, especially I think some of the armor bots, and that's a really, really pro move from Phalanx, realizing that they have so many rep bots that it's impossible to actually kill anything. Taking some of those out is going to make the difference, as though I'm seeing another wave of mediums just coming right back. So clearly, there's a lot of rep bots on this field, and that's making a big difference. I wonder if they'd gone after that Algos earlier on. That's a big rep bot area. If they could have had more applicable damage. The Hyperion, obviously now, he's taking a lot of hits with the rep bots gone. He may go down. This is a real match because I don't think the rep bots are going to come back, which means it's Hyperion versus Rogue right now.
I see a bunch of rep bots on the Merlin and the Drake as well. So not all of the shield rep on the Rogue. I think that Phalanx needs to change that pretty quickly because these rep bots will make a difference over these long kind of brawls that are going on. The Hyperion half armor, he's back. They're back pressuring the Hyperion. I'm not sure why. I guess they figured the Harbinger was just too far away from their DPS of the Rogue to be able to kill it.
Because you got the webs on them. They're not going to move.
The Rogue going into hole now.
He's dead. The Rogue's not going to make it.
For the shield team, this is a really, really knife edge match. Possibly the Rogue's on reload of his booster. I don't know. He's in hole.
I don't think it's enough.
I don't think it's enough either. I think the Rogue is going to die here. Hyperion's in half armor, but he's looking pretty. The Rogue here, lower structure. If once the Rogue dies, the Phalanx team are going to have really, really struggled to have enough DPS to kill anything.
Do you think Meme Team just baited Phalanx into trying to kill the Hyperion, failing, and then just wrecking that Rogue because they knew it would take longer to kill the Rogue?
Oh, broke down now. The Hyperion
goes.
in 25% structure. I think you'd have to be pretty ballsy to be baiting and allow yourself to sink into
Hey,
25% structure.
I'm gonna just assume maximum ballsiness right now, and that auger pilot Cog, he planned the whole thing. He's gonna get a little bit outside of range. He's gonna have some reps landing, but not the whole thing. That Hyperion's gonna hit some part of structure where he's going to possibly be wetting himself, and then surprise, they can do whatever they want. The Merlin's dead. There's no way this team does now have enough DPS to take out that Merlin with the infinite number of rep bots on the field, plus the Logi. I mean, I don't see any way that Meme Team's going to be in trouble here. I think they may even pull a Queen Sweep if they can grab that Tower in the last 3.5 minutes.
We might be looking at Meme Team here getting a dominant victory if they manage to kill all of Phalanx's ships, which would put them a point ahead of other teams that are a similar position to them, which could be really, really crucial in terms of staying up in the minor league and staying in for next season. Doesn't look like they're under any stress whatsoever. I can't see any damage going on to the
Meme Team has no chance of like actually taking damage. If I'm Phalanx right now, I'm just figuring out, all right, how can I keep my ships alive to essentially hurt Meme Team? Meme Team, they've got nothing to lose. There's no way that they're going to get taken down. I think the Hyperion's going to have to start thinking about MJDs. I think the Drake is probably an easiest target, but then how do you catch the Scythe? How do you catch the Tower? Those are fast ships. They're not going to worry about cap. That's going to be hard.
Sure, they got Vigil. It's a pretty fast ship. It's got a web. He can go in for a hero web, maybe on the Scythe or the Tower, and pin it down just long enough for the Argos to get a tackle, and then that'll stack up, hopefully. I mean, certainly, they probably do want to score as many match points as possible. So match points are scored for each ship you kill, and that determines who wins the match. But also, we use match points to decide if teams are tied on league points at the end of the season, then match points will dictate the pitch position. So match points are important. You want to score as many as possible, really, and concede as few as possible. So it would be good here for Meme Team if they had a clean sweep. It would make that race between them and Burnt Out at the bottom of the table a little bit easier for them. The Drake's slowly dying here now. He's well and truly tackled.
Yeah, and for those of us who are fans of damage, the amount of damage application from Meme Team, that's a huge amount of bar that they just filled killing that Drake. So I really enjoyed watching that just from a perspective of that was a lot of power being emanated on that Drake, just going to show the power of a Drake. Yes, it went down. Yes, it's not gonna. They're not gonna win this match, even though they called the Drake out. But it took a lot of damage to kill it. It was an emotional victory for that Drake. I think it may have been enough. Obviously not for the Scythe, but potentially for this Tower to get away. If this Tower pilot can just evade and evade well, as he is essentially right now probably outside of the range of anyone on the Meme Team side as the Scythe goes down.
Yeah, just the Tower alive now. I think we'll probably hopefully coming in here to tackle it.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I think the Vigil is his best bet, though the Vigil, if he goes after that Tower, may die, and that would be a real lose-lose situation. So the Vigil will have to come in probably with rep bots on him, and the Augur burning right behind it, because obviously they're going to put target painters and stuff on this Tower. That's easy, but actually hitting it, that's going to be pretty hard. If they put out some guns or something on it, maybe they have a chance. As I'm noting, apparently the Drake burned its launchers out, which definitely made a difference trying to kill that Hyperion. Of us wondering what happened. If you burn out your modules, bad things is what happens. And you're now seeing Valkyries that have reached the Tower. That is very bad. That is very, very bad. That Tower.
The Drake has approximately 600 DPS with those hand missiles, which it really, really needed to kill that Hyperion. If he burned his guns out while shooting that Hyperion, his team captain's not going to be happy with him.
No, that is a very hard way to lose. I mean, I know sometimes, server ticks and makes it hard to almost burn out your guns, stuff happens like that. But when you're in a match like this, you make that call, probably like 50%, I'm just going to stop burnout because you never know how long it's going to take to turn that stuff off. And that kills a match right there. As you're seeing this Tower. Oh my god, it lived. It lived. The Tower lived.
No, it's gone.
They did it. No, but it was already 0-0.
Oh, it did actually live in time. That's amazing.
13-0. Well done, Phalanx, keeping the Tower alive.
Yeah, and with that, we'll hand it back to the studio.